Have you ever walked into your living room, sat down in your favorite chair, and felt like the silence was so loud it almost hurt? Maybe the house, which was once filled with the sound of family, laughter, or even just the comfortable background noise of a busy life, now feels a little too big. A little too still. If that feeling sounds familiar, I want you to know something right from the start. You are not alone in feeling this way. And more importantly, you are not broken because you feel it. This feeling of loneliness after 70, it's one of the most common and least talked about challenges that come with this stage of life. It sneaks up on you. You might have expected the physical changes that come with aging, the aches, the slowing down, but nobody really prepares you for the quiet. Sometimes, it happens after a major life event. Perhaps you've lost a spouse, your best friend, your partner in crime. Or maybe it's been a slower shift. Friends move away to be closer to their kids. The phone doesn't ring as often as it used to. The community you were once a part of at work or through a club starts to fade. You find yourself with more time than you know what to do with, and time, when it's empty, can feel awfully heavy. It's easy to start believing a story that your mind tells you. The story that says, maybe everyone has forgotten about me, or maybe I'm just not interesting to be around anymore, or the most painful one of all, maybe this is just how it's supposed to be at this age. But I'm here today to tell you that story is a lie. Loneliness is not a mandatory part of getting older. It's a signal. It's your heart and your mind telling you that something needs to change. And the good news? There are things you can do about it. Small, practical shifts that can slowly turn that quiet, heavy feeling into something lighter. Today, we're going to talk about 5 gentle but powerful ways to reconnect with yourself, with others, and with a sense of purpose. We're going to look at how to turn that empty room back into a place where you want to be. Let's start with the first step, and it might be the most important one because it happens entirely inside your own head. 1. Stop waiting for the phone to ring. This first point is about shifting your expectation. So many of us were raised with the idea that it's rude to bother people, or that if someone wants to talk to us, they'll call us. We sit by the phone, waiting for an invitation, waiting for someone to check in. And when the call doesn't come, we feel rejected. We feel invisible. I want to gently suggest a different approach. Instead of waiting for the world to come to you, what if you took the first step? It can feel terrifying at first. You might think, if they wanted to talk to me, they would have called. But here's the truth, your friends and family, especially the younger generations, are living in a whirlwind. They are overwhelmed with work, kids, and the general chaos of modern life. Their silence isn't a reflection of their love for you, it's a reflection of their distraction. So, the first fix for loneliness is to become the initiator. Pick up the phone. Don't wait for it to ring. Call your nephew just to say you were thinking about him. Text a photo of a plant that's blooming in your window to a friend. Write an old-fashioned letter or an email. The action itself, reaching out, is empowering. It moves you from a place of passive waiting to active connection. And you might be surprised how many people are happy to hear from you. They just needed you to make the first move. You have so much wisdom and love to offer, don't keep it to yourself waiting for someone to ask for it. 2. Rediscover the joy of your own company. This might sound strange. We're talking about fixing loneliness, and my second point is about spending time alone. But bear with me. There's a big difference between being lonely and being alone. Loneliness feels empty and painful. Being alone can feel peaceful and fulfilling. The trick is learning how to enjoy your own presence. After 70, your identity can sometimes feel like it's been tied to other people for so long, as a spouse, a parent, an employee. When those roles shift, you're left with a person you might not know very well anymore, yourself. So, part of fixing the loneliness is building a friendship with the person you see in the mirror. This means doing things that you genuinely enjoy, just for the sake of it. Not because someone else wants to do them. When was the last time you put on your favorite music and just listened, really listened, without any distraction? When was the last time you took yourself out for a cup of coffee and just watched the world go by? When was the last time you started a book that had nothing to do with being productive, just for the pleasure of the story? Think about a hobby you let go of years ago. Maybe you love to paint, or garden, or do crossword puzzles. Revisiting those interests is a way of saying to yourself, you matter. Your happiness matters. When you become comfortable in your own skin, when you can sit in a room by yourself and feel content, you stop looking to other people to fill a void. Instead, you start looking to share the fullness you already have. It takes the pressure off social interactions and makes them about sharing joy, not begging for company. This is a journey, and it starts with small steps. It's about retraining your brain to see the quiet not as an absence of something, but as a space for something new. And speaking of new things, that leads us perfectly to our third point. 3. Find your third place. For most of our lives, we had two main places, home and work. Home was your sanctuary, work was where you were productive and social. After retirement, you lose that second place. Suddenly, you only have home. And when you're only in one place, the walls can start to close in. You can feel trapped by your own four walls. The third fix for loneliness is to intentionally find a third place. This is a location that isn't your home and isn't a doctor's office. It's a neutral, welcoming space where you can be around other people, even if you don't have a deep conversation with them. This could be so many things. It might be the local library, where you can browse books and maybe strike up a conversation with the librarian. It could be a coffee shop where you become a regular and the barista starts to learn your order. It could be the local community center, a senior center, or even a park bench you visit at the same time every day. The magic of a third place is that it provides low-pressure social contact. You're not going there expecting to make a best friend. You're going there to be around the hum of humanity. You might see the same faces, exchange a nod, a smile, or a simple good morning. That small connection is like water for a thirsty plant. It reminds you that you are part of a community, part of the world. It gets you out of your head and out of the house. So, think about a place you can go to regularly. It doesn't have to be fancy or cost money. The goal is just to be present in a shared space. It breaks up the monotony of the day and gives you something to look forward to. It's a gentle way to ease back into the world, on your own terms. We've talked about reaching out to others, building a relationship with yourself, and finding places to simply be among people. These are the foundational steps. They prepare the soil, so to speak. But now, let's move on to a step that's about creating deeper, more meaningful bonds. Because once you're comfortable in your own space and in the world, the next step is to invite someone else into that space with you. Because once you're comfortable in your own space and in the world, the next step is to invite someone else into that space with you. 4. Become a contributor, not just a consumer. This is a big one, and it's something that can truly transform how you see yourself and how the world sees you. For a lot of us, as we age, society starts to treat us like consumers. We're marketed to, buy this pill, go on this cruise, invest in this plan. We're seen as an audience. But deep down, what we really need is to feel useful. We need to feel like we're contributing, like we still have something to offer. Loneliness often thrives when we feel like we're just taking up space. The cure for that is to shift from being a consumer of life to a contributor to life. You have a lifetime of skills, knowledge, and experience that no younger person has. That is a treasure trove, and there are people out there who desperately need what you have. Think about it. You know how to navigate hard times without Google. You know how to cook a meal from scratch, how to sew a button, how to garden, how to balance a checkbook, how to listen without interrupting. These are skills that are becoming rare. So, how do you become a contributor? You look for ways to share your gifts. Maybe it's formal, like volunteering. Hospitals often need people to rock babies in the NICU or sit with patients who are lonely. Schools are often desperate for mentors or reading buddies. Animal shelters need people to socialize cats and walk dogs. When you volunteer, you're not just filling time, you are needed. The dog doesn't care how old your hands are, it just cares that you're there to pet it. The child learning to read doesn't see your wrinkles, they see a patient adult who has the time to listen to them sound out words. But it doesn't have to be formal. It can be in your neighborhood. Maybe you have a young mom next door who is struggling. Knitting a hat for her new baby, or simply pulling a weed from her front yard when you see it, is an act of contribution. It says, I see you, and I'm part of this community. When you contribute, something magical happens. You stop being the lonely senior and start being the person who helps. People gravitate toward that. You create a new identity for yourself, one built on purpose and value. And that sense of being valued is the direct opposite of loneliness. Now, all of these steps so far have been about external action, reaching out, going places, giving back. But the final step I want to share with you is a little different. It's about the stories we tell ourselves and how changing just one word can change everything. 5. Redefine connection in a way that fits your life now. We often have this image in our heads of what connection is supposed to look like. We think it has to be a long, deep conversation over a cup of coffee that lasts for hours. We think it has to be a big family dinner with everyone laughing around the table. And when our reality doesn't match that picture, when the coffee date is too short, or the family dinner is just you and the TV, we feel like we're failing. We feel like we don't have real connection. But what if we zoomed out a little? What if we widened our definition of what it means to feel connected? Connection isn't just a long conversation. Connection is the brief eye contact and smile you share with the grocery store cashier. Connection is waving to the mail carrier. Connection is the guy at the dog park who knows your dog's name, even if he doesn't know yours. Connection is hearing your favorite song on the radio and feeling like the universe is singing to you. Connection is sitting on a park bench and watching the squirrels play, feeling a part of the natural world. If you wait around for the perfect deep connection, you might be waiting a very long time. And in the meantime, you'll miss all the small, beautiful threads of connection that are available to you every single day. This is about gratitude, too. Shifting your focus from what you're missing to what you still have. Do you have a neighbor who always waves? That's connection. Do you have a plant you keep alive on the windowsill? That's a connection to life. Do you have a memory of your late spouse that makes you smile? That is still a connection. Love doesn't die just because someone is gone. When you start to notice and appreciate these micro moments of connection, the world starts to feel a lot less lonely. You realize you're surrounded by a web of life, and you're a part of it. You're not an island, you're a thread in a very large tapestry. So, let's just pause and think about what we've uncovered together. It's not about making 100 new best friends. It's about changing your perspective. It's about reaching for the phone instead of waiting for it to ring. It's about learning to enjoy your own company again. It's about finding a place where you can just be around others. It's about realizing you still have so much to give. And finally, it's about appreciating the tiny moments of warmth that are already all around you. These aren't massive, overwhelming changes. They are small, gentle shifts. They are like opening a window in a stuffy room. At first, just a tiny crack lets in a little fresh air. But over time, that fresh air can change the entire feeling of the room. It can make it feel alive again. It can make you feel alive again. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds good, but where do I even start? And that's the most important question of all. Because knowing what to do is one thing, but taking that first step, that takes a different kind of courage. That takes a different kind of courage. But here's the secret, you don't have to do all of it at once. You don't have to overhaul your entire life by next Tuesday. In fact, trying to do too much too fast is the quickest way to get overwhelmed and give up. The goal here isn't perfection. The goal is progress. It's about taking one small, gentle step today that leads to another small step tomorrow. So, let's talk about that first step. Because the fifth way to fix loneliness isn't just about redefining connection in your mind, it's about taking that new understanding and putting it into motion. It's about turning intention into action, even if that action feels tiny. Putting it all together, the power of one small step. I want you to think of loneliness like a muscle that's atrophied. If you've ever had a physical injury, you know you can't just run a marathon the day the cast comes off. You have to start with small stretches, gentle movements. You have to rebuild the strength slowly. Your social and emotional muscles are the same. If you've been feeling lonely for a while, you can't expect yourself to suddenly become a social butterfly. That's too much pressure. Instead, pick just one thing from what we've talked about today. Just one. And commit to doing it this week. Maybe it's the very first point we covered. You look at your phone, and instead of waiting for it to ring, you decide to be the one who reaches out. But let's make it even easier than that. Don't think, I have to call my busy daughter who never has time to talk. That feels like a setup for disappointment. Think smaller. Who is the one person in the world who you know would be happy to hear from you? Maybe it's an old colleague you haven't spoken to in 6 months. Maybe it's a cousin who lives in another state. Maybe it's just sending a text message to a neighbor to say, I saw a cardinal in my backyard today, and it made me think of you. That's it. That's the step. One message. One phone call. One wave to the mail carrier with a genuine smile. You are stretching that muscle. Or maybe that feels like too much. Maybe the thought of picking up the phone still feels heavy. That's okay. Then your step for this week is point number 2, rediscovering the joy of your own company. But again, let's make it tiny. You don't have to take yourself on a cruise. Just make yourself one really nice cup of tea tomorrow afternoon. Not the tea bag you just dump quickly while standing at the counter. The nice cup. Use your favorite mug. Sit down in your chair. And just sip it. No TV. No phone. Just you and the tea. Feel the warmth of the cup in your hands. Taste it. That is an act of self-connection. That is you saying, I am worth my own time. If you've already been doing that, maybe your step is point number 3, finding your third place. And again, we start small. You don't have to join a club and commit to attending every meeting for the rest of your life. Just go somewhere. Tomorrow, after lunch, put on your shoes and go to the library. You don't even have to talk to anyone. Just walk in the door. Look at a book. Sit in a chair for 10 minutes. Let the quiet hum of other people being nearby wash over you. Then get up and go home. You did it. You went to your third place. Perhaps you're feeling a little bolder and you're ready to become a contributor. That's beautiful. But let's scale it down. Don't sign up to run a charity gala. Just bake a dozen cookies or even buy a small pack from the store and bring them to the new neighbor who just moved in. Just knock on the door, hand them over, say welcome to the neighborhood, and leave. That's it. You have contributed. You have added a little bit of warmth to the world. And for those of you who have been practicing gratitude and redefining connection, your step might be the simplest of all. Tonight, before you go to sleep, think of one tiny moment of connection you had today. Maybe the sun felt warm on your face. Maybe the cashier smiled at you. Maybe you heard a child laugh outside your window. Just one thing. Hold it in your mind and say to yourself, that was connection. I am part of this world. That one small thought, repeated every night, can slowly rewire your brain to see the love and connection that already exists in your life, rather than focusing on what's missing. You see, loneliness is a heavy feeling, but it's not a permanent one. It's a visitor, not a resident. It comes in waves, but waves also recede. By taking these small, gentle steps, you are building a shore that can withstand those waves. You are reminding yourself of a fundamental truth: you matter. Your presence in this world matters. Your stories matter. Your smile matters. The years beyond 70 are not just an ending, they are a different kind of beginning. It's a time when you have the wisdom to know what truly counts and the freedom to pursue it. It's a time for depth, for quiet joys, for reconnecting with the simple threads of life that we were too busy to notice before. So, I want to leave you with this thought: don't wait for loneliness to go away on its own. Meet it with action. Meet it with kindness, for others and for yourself. The room might be quiet, but that doesn't mean it has to be empty. You have the power to fill it, one small step, one small connection, one small moment at a time. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. It truly means the world. If this video spoke to you, if it made you feel a little less alone, would you do me a favor? Click the like button below. It helps others find this message too. And if you'd like to join this community for more gentle, honest conversations about navigating life as we age, hit that subscribe button right now. I'll be here, waiting to talk with you again soon. Until next time, be kind to yourself. You're doing a great job. And remember, the best connections are often the ones we least expect. Here's to finding them, and here's to you. Take care.